What's up, everybody? Pigskin Paisanos here. This is Paul. We're doing starts and sits of week one matchups. And today we got the Giants at the Dallas Cowboys. Okay, so I personally am a Giant fan. I'm from New Jersey, so this one comes from the heart. So as I tell you my starts and sits, I'll first go with the starts for the New York Giants. You're starting Sterling Shepard. Who is Eli going to possibly throw to? You lost Beckham Jr. because of a trade. You lost Golden Tate for, I believe it's 4 games. So Sterling Shepard is the number one option right there in New York. And so you have to start him. I mean, he's a wide receiver too, in my opinion, just because of the targets that he is going to get from Eli Manning. And on top of that, you have to start Evan Ingram. So Evan Ingram, if he can just stay healthy, Evan Ingram could be a top 5 tight end, just outside of that Kelsey, Kittle, Ertz. Evan Ingram was phenomenal in college. He was a first-round pick by the Giants. I've been high on him ever since the Giants drafted him. And so, what we've seen is whenever the Giants had injuries, they would lean on Ingram, and he would perform pretty well. And so I think Ingram also is a start. Saquon Barkley, really don't need to say more. He was the consensus number 1 draft pick this year in fantasy football. The dude's going to kill it every single game. That's not even a question. You are sitting Eli Manning. Eli, at this point in his career, he's not trustworthy, and so unless Eli has a very favorable matchup, I would not start him. I would really only start Eli in a 2 QB league if he's facing a defense that just cannot stop the pass. But other than that, you're sitting Eli, especially against this Dallas defense. And going into Dallas, you are starting the Dallas defense. Possibly, you can get a bunch of sacks on Eli, maybe a pick or two. This is a game where Dallas is definitely a favorite, and that defense should do work on Eli Manning and that offense. So I would start the Dallas defense for sure. As far as we know, Amari Cooper is planning on playing. I know he's had some injury concerns as of late, but he said he's good to go as far as we know here. Amari Cooper is going to start and be the number 1 option. And even though Amari Cooper is so feast or famine in his time here, still you have to start the guy. I mean, there were games last season where he completely went off. So you have to start Cooper. He's the number 1 option. You have to start Zeke, just like Saquon. A consensus 1 or 2 between Zeke and Saquon. If Zeke was not going through all of his contract issues, he would have been picked 1 or 2 in fantasy drafts. So if you got Zeke in the mid to late rounds, lucky you got like arguably the best player in fantasy football, and between the 4 to maybe 8 or 9 range if he fell that far. So you're definitely starting Zeke. Dak Prescott. So harder. I am higher on Dak Prescott than most people are. I think he's underrated. He has the legs to run, to always provide that QB2 floor. I would only start Dak Prescott in a 2 QB league as my second QB. But other than that, you might want to sit Dak. So if you're in a QB1 league, where you can only start 1 QB, I would sit Dak because there are better options out there, and you want to see how this season plays out. And so, but if you're in a 2 QB league, I would start Dak. Also know that if the Cowboys are winning this game and blowing out the Giants, Dak's not going to throw the ball much, so they'll probably just give it to Zeke all day. So also keep that in mind. So this was a tough one for me because I am a huge fan of Michael Gallup. I think he's going to have a great year this year, but as of right now, you have to sit Michael Gallup. I would only start him if you have an injury on your team, or maybe like you just don't really have any good flex spots open, then I would throw him in and just hope that Gallup has a big game. But we know also, like Amari Cooper, Gallup had some big games, and then he had some games where he did nothing. So again, Michael Gallup for now, I would sit. Dak, I would sit. And yeah, so just summarizing, guys, what we went over. Giants, you're starting Shepard, you're starting Ingram, you're definitely starting Saquon Barkley, you're sitting Eli Manning. For Dallas, you're starting that Dallas defense, you're starting Amari Cooper, Zeke, obviously, and Dak. I would only start in a 2 QB league. Other than that, I would sit Dak, and I would sit Michael Gallup as of right now. Okay, guys, this is Pigskin Paisanos signing off. Thank you again.